Hi, it's Savannah Ogwin from Savannah Land 2. Today I'm going to share a project that really had me step out of my comfort zone and was inspired by the Reverse Confetti April color story. I start with a couple of papers that match these colors, and I pull out some of my newest Reverse Confetti stamps. I really like this bunny image, and I'm going to match it up with some stamps, sentiments from the All About You set. I'm just trying to decide how I want to make my card, and I'm placing all my stamps and images down and rearranging my papers right now. I had a design, wasn't sure if I was going to stick with it, and I wasn't sure how I wanted to make this bunny pop. But I decided that I'm going to start working on my pattern papers, and so I'm just cutting them and attaching them to my card right now. I wanted to use both stripes and polka dots to set off that grid pattern in the blue. I really like how these papers come together. They look really nice on this card. Now here's where I start to think about this bunny image and how I want to make it pop. But I got distracted and thought maybe I needed some vellum on the side, and I pulled out some of my scallops, scallop dies, and I'm going to die cut some of those in vellum. But I set that to the side because I think I'm going to start working on my paper, but then I realize I can't put it down unless I attach the back first, which has the scallops. So back to the scallops I went, and I die cut them, I folded them in half, and now I'm attaching them to my front panel and just trimming off the excess. And now I'm attaching all of my front pieces to the front of my card. Now that that's down, I think I am going to add a little bit more, and so I'm going to die cut a heart. And I am now back to thinking about this bunny. I want to do a lot with her, but I wasn't sure what. Fussy cutting is one of my favorite techniques, but I decided I'm going to try something new. But before I do that, I'm going to emboss the sentiment, and I start with the top of my sentiment, and it's going to say, "Just be you, amazing and beautiful." But then I realized that I probably should start with the bottom. So I emboss that and set it to the side. I finally commit to my idea for this bunny, and I stamp her twice, so I get a stamped off look with this ink, and it looks really soft. And right here I'm texting my friend saying, I don't know if I can do this because I'm going to color with Copics. This is the first time I've ever done it, and it freaks me out, but she texted me back and said I could do it. So I sped it up from here, and I'm really not really coloring. I'm just outlining with two colors. I think it's C0 and T1. I don't even know what those are called, but those are the numbers. And I really wanted just an outline on her, and I thought, oh, well, maybe that was too dark, so let's try this again. So I stamp her twice. I really like how that second one looks, how light that outline is. Now on this try, I think about it, and I think I'm just going to use the tip of my marker instead of the whole brush. So I try it again, and I color it with C0 first, and then T1, and then I go back with C0, and my friend texted me and told me to flick it. I don't know what that means, but I turn the paper a lot, and I use the tip of the marker. And then I pulled out my colorless blender or whatever it's called, and I was messing around with it. But I really like how the second bunny looks. She just looks a little bit more soft. And so I set that to the side, and now I'm going to stamp her again so that I can fussy cut some bows from some green paper. Now I'm just going to fussy cut this bunny out, and you would think it was really hard, but the only hard part would be her whiskers and her little eyelashes, which in the end, at the very end of my fussy cutting, I end up just cutting them off, and you can't even tell, so no big deal, but her whiskers look super cute. So those are the two bunnies that I had, and this is the bunny that my friend and I did yesterday. She has a black eye, I'll talk about it later, but I had to text her and show her my final design. I was so proud of myself, and she texted me back and said I did an awesome job. So now I'm just adding more details, such as watercoloring her ears and adding the paper piece paper piecing her bows on there or adding the fussy cut pieces, and now I'm adding in her eye. Now I mentioned that she had a black eye before, and that's because I wanted to darken them, but we used a black marker and it was like she had a black eye. So I decided to use a pencil there. Super clever. It worked out. It looks really cute. And now, as always, I'm fussying with the bow, and I decided that I didn't like the hemp and the green together, so I'm just going to use a white hemp cord. I die cut my heart, and now I'm going to attach my bunny using foam dots. From here, my card goes really quick because, I mean, what else can you do but add embellishments? It's the coloring and the fussy cutting that took forever for me. And the coloring only because it was so new to me. But anyway, long story short, I ended up adding some sequins pieces, I guess is what you would call it. And then my final thing for this card was messing with the bow again. But I ended up loving how this card looks. I added some stitching as well, and I really love how these colors came together. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you will try out the Reverse Confetti April Color Challenge. Maybe you will try coloring just like I did. Thanks so much for watching.